Hey, Jimmy Martin here with you once again. Just talk to some of the people, a lot of people, let's say, in the industry, in the life insurance industry, and a lot of people outside the industry they ask me what really inspired me to join the organization that I'm with now. And one of the things that I really saw was what they described the legacy, but I kind of explained it to you like this is everybody in your job. Well, let's just say when you're ready to retire, there's three different tiers to your retirement, or three different legs. To think of it as a three-legged stool. There's going to be the government promise, there's going to be the employer promise, and there's going to be your own personal promise you make to yourself. Now, the government promise is going to be the Social Security, and for me, I mean, they say Social Security is probably going to be depleted by 2030, so I don't think Social Security is going to be around for me by the time I'm able to get there. I mean, if it is, it'll be a bonus. I'm not counting on it. Now, the employer promise, before employers used to offer pensions. Now, that's kind of a thing of the past where that's not even available anymore. So now you look at the promise you make to yourself and through the things that are offered. But most people that they work a job are 401ks or 403bs, depending on where you work at, or TSPs, and then whatever savings or whatever other mechanisms you put in place to create passive income that's going to give you the money later on. Now, the company I align with, they were a little bit more, I guess, thinking forward in terms of being able to help us to prepare for when it's time for us to walk away. And they actually put in place what I like to call a generational pension plan. The reason why it's a generational pension plan, it's a pension plan that will enable me to be able to get ongoing royalty payments, throughout my lifetime. But the great thing about it is, unlike any other pension plan that you've ever seen, this pension plan can actually be passed on to your heirs, and then they can actually pass it on to their heirs as well. So just think of a traditional pension plan from a job. Once you retire, you may be able to designate it to go to a spouse, but once the spouse, I mean, well, let's say once you expire, I should say, you can designate it to go to a spouse, but then once the spouse expires, the pension plan stops. In this case, this pension plan can go on for generation after generation after generation. And in addition to that, on top of that, there's the equity shares that are available. I think of the story of Charles Barkley. He said that Michael Jordan saved his life when he was renegotiating a contract with Nike. Michael Jordan had told him, he said, you know what, Charles, don't worry about the cash. Just take the equity shares, and then you'll thank me later, because that'll create much more money for you over your lifetime than what you're going to get from the cash. You're going to spend the cash now. So the company that I line with, they have the equity shares available, which will be able to provide that, that income for myself, for my heirs later on down the line. But in addition to that, that generational pension plan is really what's going to be able to allow me to be able to retire and enable me to pass that on to the generation coming behind me, so that they can be able to retire and be able to pass that on as well. So you want to ask yourself, what do you have in your life that's going to enable you to be able to look at the future and be happy about it, but then also look at what's going to happen for the other individuals coming behind you. Do you have a generational pension plan? If it's something you want to talk about, just reach out to me or reach out to somebody that shared this video with you. Talk to you soon.